I'm inspired. I'm inspired.
Hey there guys, what's happening? Back from Hawaii, chilling. How's it going, guys? My name is Sumit Chatterjee. I'm a flow state coach from the Flow Zone Academy, and I help you feel better and perform better. In this current video today, I'm going to be talking about a fresh state of mind. Okay, what is a fresh state of mind? I want you to think back to the show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's right, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with Will Smith. Do you remember that? Master William. Do you remember that show? Right, Uncle Phil, okay? Carlton, okay? So I have a theory, right? I have a theory. My theory goes like this. Will, in that show, is the id, okay? And Carlton is like the super ego, right? He's the moral one. And then Will is like just the desire, like he's just doing what he wants, right? Going with the flow. So, and then you have the ego, obviously. So you want to think of the id and the super ego almost like the devil and the angel on the shoulder, right? That's one way to look at it. That's one way to analyze this thing and understand it better. So this is basic, like Freudian stuff, right? So the ego is containing both of them, okay? The ego contains both Will and Carlton inside of you. You got to understand that. So you got one side that's just like, yo, I just want to party, man. Where's the music? Woo! And the other one that's just like, no, we need order. No, we need rules. No, we need this, right? And so it's the logic and the emotion, it's the heart and the mind energy, whatever you want to call it, right? Through these contrasts, these juxtapositions, right? And once you understand the juxtaposition of your internal Will and Carlton, you will understand how this bionic instrument works and how this translucent holographic brain works, okay? You really haven't really tapped into it before you've understood your own id and your own superego. Okay? Your superego is like the moral part of you, like wants to go by society's standards, like doesn't want to do anything too weird. And your id is just like this rebellious, like thing that just desires, and it's like very primal, you know? It's like our instinct. Just our natural instinct. So you contain both of those, right? And you got to make these two people friends, right? You got to integrate, you got to individuate, you got to make these two friends. You got to make Will and Carlton actually speak to each other without making fun of each other, like those real scenes. That's flow state, right? That's flow state. Because when you can get these two things working together and you have an understanding of actually you're tapping into this state, because the ego holds these two experiences together, Will and Carlton, right? And so if it's only Will and Carlton is asleep or whatever, then you have a very playful side of you. And if Carlton's awake and Will's asleep, then you have a side of you that is very, very logical and like, you know, wants to dress up proper and do all this kind of stuff, right? So once you have both of them awake, you have this turmoil between both of them. But you got to get them to be best friends, right? That's what's going to link them together and get you into the zone. So getting you into the zone is like, okay, you have this desire, you want to go for it, but you also have this logical part, like Carlton coming in, like, well, are you sure, man? Are you sure you're doing? Are you sure you're doing the right thing, man? Are you sure? Are you okay? Okay. What if people say weird things about you? You know, like that's Carlton coming in, and Will is just like, man, I just want to party, you know. So understand that dynamic, okay? Because it's within you, it's within everybody. The more you can understand that, the more you can get them to be friends and be like, hey man, it's all cool. Id's like that. And then the superego can finally trust id. It's like, you know, Carlton finally trusts Will at a certain point or a certain scene. It's like, yeah, man, no, we both got this. No, let's do this thing together. But we'll be safe too. Okay? We'll be safe too. Right? That's just Will talking to Carlton to make sure he's on board with this, right? So that's the way that you access that flow state. And this is just a theory, you know. I have no idea if this can work or not. But the more I dug into this concept, I really started to understand this thing for what it is. I set the devil and the angel on their shoulder, like just, you know, trying to convince you of one or the other. And it's just the playful and the serious, you know. It's really that. And the more we can understand that we've got to integrate the both, right? We've got to understand we need to do shadow work and light work. And that's why this part of us is split into these two consciousness, in a sense, 2 points of view, because it's our brains, right? It's just our brains, right? So it's like, whew. So we just want to feel synchronized, okay? If you have let's say you're an ENTP, right, in your Myers-Briggs, well, that means that the ideal human in this sense would be like all the Myers-Briggs components, like balanced. You get what I mean? So 50-50 introvert, 50% introvert to 50% extrovert. You get what I'm saying? Like you're sensing and you're also feeling, like you're judging and you're also perceiving. You get what I'm saying? So that would be like the understanding of like the ideal superhuman in a sense, right? Where you could just like weave between both worlds and be able to like just be a personality that has access to both, right? Like that's an incredible feat. It's an incredible understanding of yourself and others if you can actually access that state where you're tapping into both, okay? Because the greatest actor in the world is shapeless, formless, like water, like Bruce Lee says, right? They are shapeless, they are formless, they can transform into anybody. Right? They don't need to be stuck into this particular vessel, this particular look. Like, it can change, it can transform. And that's what the shape-shifting warrior monk is. Okay, so you got to understand that. How do you tap into that within yourself? You got to understand you're formless. You got to see this thing, it's like putty in your hands. You can transform this like you want to. Okay? It just takes a little bit of dedication and commitment, because a lot of people, they commit and then they leave the last second, right? But they're just a few inches away from the goal. But it's closer than you think. Okay, it's closer than you think. You got to just keep digging. Keep digging. Keep digging and accessing that part of that flow, because you know that it's there. It's always been there. You just got to trust in it and let it come out in situations that you need it. So you can summon it. Like Ben 10 summons monsters from his ring, you can summon flow state like that. Okay? So think of it in different varying ways. So you can access different parts of your brain, right? So speak to yourself very logically and with a lot of vocabulary. I do that at times to stretch my, mind. I also speak to myself very silly in different voices, like, hey man, how's it going? And I'm just like, why did I do that? I don't know. I'm not justifying it. It's irrational. The funny little voices that come up, it's like, it's irrational. Let's just go with it. It's cool. It's a part of my personality. I love cartoons. I love voices. Let's see where this thing goes. What is really going on? Virgo. Okay? Virgo. What is really going on? The greatest question ever asked to humankind. What is really going on? And that question will lead you down several rabbit holes. Okay? What is really going on? What is really going on? What is really going on? No, I see that this is how they're presenting it, but what is really going on? No, I see that that's what they're trying to get across, but what is really going on? It's this curiosity that just becomes like a sword, that can cut through any illusion. You see? The sword of truth that can cut through any illusion or lie. Okay? So practicing that and accessing that fresh state of mind is what I just explained to you guys. Okay? So when you can feel renewed in every single moment, you can feel fresh. You can feel new in every single interaction, every single moment. You're perceiving it for the first time ever. And so you get this extra, wow. What if this moment never happened again? Wow. That's so cool. That's the frequency. That's the fresh state of mind. That's the flow state that you want to access, because it's like this nostalgic, bittersweet, little poetic midriff in the scalpel of your consciousness. It's like a little bing, okay? That's what it's like, okay? So I want you to access it like that, okay? By going with what you desire and your id, but then having Carlton come in and be like, okay, are you sure about this? Okay, yeah, maybe we can work this out. And you're like, shut up, man, okay, let me do my thing. And then it's like, okay, well, let me try to do my thing too. And it gets so complicated that they just need to be friends first. They just need to be friends first within. And then you can have all the fun that you want in a safe container. Get what I'm saying? You don't have to feel hesitant now, because it's like, some people have too hard of a shell, if that makes sense. Okay, this is a revelation I came to like a week ago when I was with Yadu. You know, it's an incredible understanding that some people have just too hard of a shell. They won't let anything into their reality. They're too stubborn, and so they can't change, but they want to change. Right? They're so strong, they're so uncompromising in their reality, they're so certain that they're actually stagnating. Right? They're not letting anything new in. And the newness is that fresh state of mind. You need to access newness, new opportunities, new experiences, new people to get that state of mind. Where things are as thrill, where things seem like they're new, okay? Where things seem like they're in an accordance or an adventure that you are currently on. Okay? So, I hope this video helps you out today. Have an amazing day. Aloha. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. See you next time.